Welcome back to Turf Talk, Attrition Edition. Vance, for about 30 seconds, we knew the Kentucky Derby favorite was.
Yes, Mastery was masterful in the San Felipe, winning the hard way all the way around the track. Earned a 102 brisk speed rating. Unfortunately, I was watching the gallop out and started to get very concerned that he was shutting down, so to speak, against the rest of his competition. And unfortunately, Mike Smith dismounted. Seconds later, found out he had a condylar fracture of his left front, and he's out of the Derby picture. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, this was a horse I definitely have not been gaga over. Some have had him on top for a long time. I would have put him on top had he come out of this healthy. I thought it was the best prep certainly we've seen this year. Disposed of Gormley. Iliad, I watched it on a replay, so I already saw who won. And I was watching the race, and as they were turning for home, I was thinking, oh, there must be a DQ, because how is Iliad not going to win from there? And Mastery just went on with it. Just looked like the sky was the limit, at least as far as 3-year-olds are concerned. Was not to be. But, you know, really on the Derby trail, going back to Orb, we haven't had this these setbacks for the favorites. So, you know, I hate to say we're due because you want everyone to be healthy, but really not out of the ordinary historically speaking.
No, it isn't, but it is a little unfortunate. We won't get to see Mastery this year. Classic Empire and McCraken have also had their own setbacks this spring. Both of them are back training now, so hopefully they'll be back in the Derby picture as well. But I agree with you on all of your previous points. Mastery did run the best Derby prep we've seen so far this year. I take it that if he does return to the races, it's going to probably be a little too late in the year for him to maybe jump back into the 3-year-old championship picture. But you know, I think regardless, I hope the connections at least give him a shot to bring him back to the races because he is a great talent, as we saw.
Yeah, no, he looked fantastic for sure. You mentioned McCraken and Classic Empire, 2-1 respectively on my list. I just haven't found a reason to knock the champ down. This would have been the week, but you know, the horse who would have been number 1 is off the trail. But they both worked this week. They're both targeting the bluegrass. Time certainly running out, but if they hit all their marks going into the bluegrass, they'll be the top 2 betting choices. If they both run well, they might be the top 2 betting choices in the Kentucky Derby as well. So, you know, to me, in a year where no one else has stepped up or the one who has is off the trail, they're still the top 2.
Yeah, and even if they don't run particularly well in the bluegrass, say 3rd or 4th or whatever, you know they're both going to be due to have that race as a prep race. And they're almost be, unless some other horse comes along in the final prep races, and let's say the Wood Memorial or Florida Derby or Santa Anita, there almost would be no reason for you to jump off either McCraken or Classic Empire at the Kentucky Derby just because their odds, you would assume, would go up.
Yep, good point. And we have one prep this week. James and I will be back later in the week with On Point to talk about the Rebel. But real quick for me, I was excited about American Anthem. Lost a little bit of luster, though, given Gormley's performance. Malagacey for Pletcher looks to be the other big threat. I like either of those two shipping in. Initial thoughts over the horses based at Oaklawn.
Yeah, I would say American Anthem probably has the edge. I'm not going to knock his loss to Gormley too much, just based on Gormley's race in the San Felipe. I thought American Anthem ran the better race of the two, and the Sham just came up a bit short. I think he's probably a bit better longer-term prospect than Gormley, who I was kind of iffy about coming into this 3-year-old year, especially off his Breeders' Cup performance.
All right, well, we'll be back next week to talk about that. And real quick, we'll get out of here. I think you're the only person in the building without a formal Derby top 10 list, but if you had one, who's on top?
I'm sticking with McCraken. I've mentioned him many times here on Turf Talk as my Derby future wager selection, and I'm going to stick with him until somebody else better comes along.
All right, well, we're waiting for that, and maybe someone better won't. And you'll be right.
That's
to
right.
Victor go the spoils. All right, that's it for us this week. Join us next week on Turf Talk.